Om Shanti. So, somebody was sharing with me that about their situation and whatever they are dealing with in life these days. And they said, I feel so stuck. I feel I am stuck where I'm stuck, and it's making me feel very difficult and very burdensome, but I'm stuck. So I told them, why do you think you're stuck? Leave. So she said, it's not as simple as that. So I said, you have to ask yourself why it is not simple. Yes. And you see, if you think about the stars in the sky for years together, they are in the same place, not moving. And there are no ropes tying them to the place where they are. There is nothing, holding them, but it's just where it is, and they don't move. So it's all. So why are they where they are? Because of forces which you can't see. You can see the stars, but you can't see the force that is acting upon it, which puts it in its position. So we are also stars on this earth, and there are forces that are acting on us. And those forces are the karma and sanskars. And because we are one of the most powerful beings on earth next to God, so you see, after God, the most powerful beings are we. So right now we have a choice about where you want to be, how you want to be. And Baba has given us all the information about how you shift your position and how you can just fly to the golden age or the soul world. And Baba says that you use that power of knowledge to create a different place for yourself. Don't be stuck anymore. So we are the stars who have been taught to fly and move and shift position. And so this is just something that I was meditating on in the Amrit Vela, and it made me feel very different. So I wanted to share it with you. Now, in the Murli today, Baba says that I speak the truth to you. So Baba says, I am the true Father, and I tell you all the true things. And we have heard a lot of false stuff growing up, because so you see, one of the biggest lies that we heard is, deities and devils, they live together. And so when there is Shri Krishna, there is Kans also, and when there is Shri Ram, there is Ravan also. And then Ravan abducts the wife of the king, and then then people say they want Ram Rajya. So you already have Ram Rajya, is it not? If that is what Ram Rajya means, that the wife of the king can be abducted by the villain, so that is Ram Rajya. And if that is Ram Rajya, then you are already in Ram Rajya. So Baba says that you have heard so many stories which are not even close to what the Golden Age is actually about, or who Baba is like and what you are like. So there is so much of falsehood we live within. And there is sometimes people will say, why are you people talking always about who we are and who God is and what happened, and why is that important? Why does it matter what we believe? Yes, so this is something that people say. So, why do you have so much discussion about these things, and how does it matter what we believe? So, Baba says that no, how what you believe dictates how you behave. So, this belief is very important, and that is why Baba says you need to know the truth about who you are, who God is, what is your original form. And if you believe otherwise, you will behave otherwise. We believed we were monkeys and we became monkeys. So Baba says you said we were monkeys, and now you've become a monkey. So Baba says, I am shifting you now from bandar layak se mandir layak. So you from like a monkey to qualified enough to live in a temple. I'm making you. And so it is very important that these questions need to be thought about, and Baba is giving us all the answers. And we need to really delve deeply into what Baba is saying so that it becomes a part of how we see things, how we listen to things, how we perceive this whole drama going on around us. And today, Baba is talking about I and mine. So Baba says, whenever you say I, it is in a very body conscious fashion that you say I. So you say I am a judge or an engineer or a doctor, or I'm male or female. So it's all about the body. And then Baba says, the real I is you are a soul. I am a soul. Now, just think about what difference it would make if we thought about I as a body and I as a soul. So you see, everything that you base your identity on is perishable and changeable. So obviously, if you base your identity in a body conscious way, then you will always be in identity crisis, because everything you are founding your identity on is perishable and changeable. So you say I'm a woman, and then the status of woman in society is fluctuating, or the idea about women is changing, and then you also start feeling unstable inside. Or you feel, or you associate yourself with the job you do, and then there is some problem with the job, and then you don't know who you are any longer. So Baba says that the external world is perishable, changeable, and then also you see it is vulnerable to a lot of subjective feelings and opinions. So there's a lot of subjectivity that penetrates your consciousness when you think in a body conscious way about yourself, and you say I am this or that or the other. And then Baba says you should know you are a soul. And what do you know when you know you are a soul? So you know that whatever you experience is because of how you are using your man and buddhi. And then you know that you are made of 7 qualities, and when they go down, then that is the problem. That is when the problem arises. No, it doesn't matter if you lose money or relationships or anything, but if you lose your happiness and peace and state of love, then it matters, because that is who you are. Everything else is external. So when you think about yourself as a soul, then you don't focus on the external loss and gain, you focus on the loss and gain of your virtues. And you know that matters. Nothing else matters. Everything else will anyway change. Change is the law of nature. So that matters. And then you know that you can create your own experience, and you know that you have a pre-recorded part inside you. So Baba gives us this magical information that You are a pre-recorded soul, and wherever you are, you know what to do. You are more powerful than whatever you are facing. So you already have that part in you and you know how to deal with it. Nothing that ever comes up before you are not aware of. So it's a pre-recorded thing. You know what to do, when to do, how to do, and that part is recorded inside you. So if you are in soul consciousness, you are wise, you make good choices, you are powerful, you are in touch with your virtues, and you don't blame people and situations for your experience. Yes, so Baba gives us this true definition of who you are. And Baba is telling us today that I tell you all the truth. And then Baba says, who is mine? So mine is Baba. There is no other mine. Yes, so something belongs to you and tomorrow it is lost because maybe the time changed and it no longer was in the drama that it should be with you, or you, so nothing is forever yours. Even if you're very good or very bad. So, I've seen people who really misbehave with other people and then those people are sticking on to them for 30 years, 40 years. And then there is somebody who does everything right in a relationship and the person walks away. So it's not about what you do, it's about how it is destined. Yes, what you do creates your karma and your sanskars, and how you feel about the whole thing will depend on what you do. But then what happens is just predestined. So Baba says, but I am always yours. Forever yours. So I'm yours when you know me, I'm yours when you don't know me. And when you come into Gyan, you realize that, okay, you came to know Baba right now, but then Baba has been with you all along. Yes, so Baba has always been giving you some kind of help, even if the entire knowledge was not available, or, we have received His grace always. Now He has given us the tool to create that grace for ourselves and others, but then we have received His grace always. Now it's not grace, now it's a formula. You know how to take His grace. But then earlier also you received His grace. Sometimes when you did the right thing inadvertently also you received His grace. So Baba says that I have been with you all along. It's just that you recognize me now, but it's only I who have been with you always. I'm yours. So I am a soul, and so this is I and mine that Baba teaches us, and Baba says, always remember this I and mine. And don't get caught up in the wrong I and wrong mine. Yes, so anything that you think is yours will deceive you. Because you are not betrayed by people and things, you are betrayed by your expectations based on wrong idea of mine. So I remember once, I told my father, I thought you will do this. So my father said, my Lokik father, he said that, no, I didn't tell you that. If you thought, that's your problem. So then I realized my problem is my thought, not my father. So people are not responsible for how you think they should behave. And your expectations are wreaking havoc with you, not those people's behavior. They are who they are. So Baba says nobody is yours, nobody is meant to behave according to you. No element of nature, no soul, nothing. So always remember only Baba is mine, nobody else is mine. And you see, Baba is so fantastic. You call out Baba, and before you call out, Baba is there. Yes, Baba never leaves you. Baba gives you. Baba tells you things in advance. Even when you don't know how to ask a question, he gives you the answer. He's always holding your hand. So Baba is yours. So this is something that Baba tells us today. Today, the true concept of who you are and who Baba is. And Baba says, now that you know the truth, so the truth and the false are two very different things. So don't get caught up in the false again. Let this truth be held in your buddhi. So hold it in your buddhi, that this is me and this is mine. And today Baba says, whenever you are giving knowledge or, doing some seva, keep saying Baba, Baba. Baba says, keep saying Baba, Baba. Why? Because the biggest problem is ego. Yes? So, you do 5 bad things and you stay humble. And you do one good thing and the problem starts. Because after that you are so full of ego. So I remember there was this Mata, and she never contributed anything to the yajna. And until then she was very nice. And then once she contributed something, and then the problem started because she was so full of ego after that. And then, so you see, so how do you do good karma? Because every time you do good karma, you are full of ego. So good karma and ego are going together. So this is why Baba gives you this very simple trick, very nice trick. Baba says that every time you do something, remember Baba, Baba. Baba taught me, Baba is giving me the strength, so Baba is giving me the know-how, Baba is holding my hand, so I am able to do it. Yes, sometimes, I wonder, sometimes, I give a course to somebody and then they don't get it. So people don't get that they shouldn't get angry also. So, and then, sometimes I wonder that we are so fortunate that we have been given this buddhi to understand right from wrong. If we didn't have it, what would we do? We would be miserable as always. Yes, so even this buddhi is a gift. Everything is a gift. If we don't have the resources that we have, how would we do anything anyway? So Baba says, Baba is the bestower. Even if I had the buddhi, I was using it the wrong way. So if I am able to make something good out of this buddhi, it is because of Baba. If I am able to do anything out of this body, use my hands or mouth in a way to which I create good karma, it's because of the sense and the power that Baba has given. So Baba is the one you should always remember whenever you do anything. So when you remember Baba, then you are free from ego. And only then you can do good karma, because it is not like teachers have been teaching and scientists have been researching and doctors have been giving relief to the body. And there is so much of stuff that people have been doing. But Baba says from the copper age onwards, you kept falling down. Why? Because we did it in ego. And that is why Baba says, now when you do good karma means A, karma according to the knowledge of karma that you have been taught, and B, you remember Baba and do indirect karma. So Baba has taught us this very good yukti of indirect karma. What is indirect karma? Always keep Baba in between. This Baba Baba doesn't mean that you keep saying Baba Baba. It's not something about what you speak from the mouth. Yes, while giving knowledge, keep saying Baba Baba so that they also get used to it. Yes, so they also get used to it that there is some Baba which is giving this knowledge. So everybody gets an idea that there is some Baba which we don't have clarity about, but that Baba is knowledge. This is. So Baba says that is when you give the knowledge. But otherwise also, whenever you are doing anything, Baba says, just keep Baba in between. So you taking care of your body, keep Baba in between. Yes, Baba has given me this body in trust and I have to use it to create good karma. If you are forming relationships, keep Baba in between. This is Baba's child, I am Baba's child. I am doing my duty dictated by Baba towards this child, who is Baba's child. Keep Baba in between. Baba in between means indirect karma. Indirect karma means no vikarma. Yes, keep Baba in between. And whenever it becomes direct, there is trouble. I gave you, so you ought to give me, so you ought to pay me back, so you ought to return it to me. So all that will start if you forget this indirect karma. So Baba teaches us indirect karma. And then Baba says, if you keep saying Baba Baba during the course, then they will, so the question of God being omnipresent will be ruled out. So there is this idea about Sarva Vyapi, or God is everywhere or omnipresent. And then Baba says, if you keep saying Baba Baba, then you know that Baba is not some thin air that is all around you. Baba is Baba. So, and when you think about Baba, you don't think about omnipresent. So omnipresence and this word Baba are very difficult to relate. So this is why this will rule out omnipresence. And Baba says, and this idea of omnipresence, so even if you have taken the course recently, so if we all come with this idea that God is an energy and He's everywhere. So Baba says, I'm not an energy. So there are two kinds of energy. We have to first understand this. This word energy creates a lot of confusion. So there are two kinds of energy. There is the conscient energy, Chetan Satta. And then there is the Jad energy, which is physical energy, inconscient energy. So when we say Paramatma, he is Sat Chit Anand, that is, he is true, he is Chaitanya. Chaitanya means he is not some dead element. He is not physical energy, he is conscient energy. And what is conscient energy? That which has the ability to think and decide, a man and a buddhi. So physical tattva don't have that energy. Your body can't think and decide. Youth soul think and decide. So the soul leaves the body can't take any decision or can't think. So Baba says, I am a thinking, experiencing being. So I am Chaitanya Satta. So Baba is not a something, he is a someone. Yes, so the something is also energy, the someone is also energy, but there is a difference between a something and a someone. And when he is a someone, he cannot be everywhere, he has to be somewhere. Yes, so a something can be everywhere, but a someone cannot be everywhere. He has to be somewhere. So Baba says, I am not everywhere because I am not some physical element which can be all pervading or something. I am a someone. I am your father. I am not some element of nature all pervading. I am a conscient being. And I am your father and I live in the soul world, and then I come down. and descend into the body of Brahma Baba and give you whatever I have, the knowledge, the purity, the love. So that is who I am. And then Baba says that, so you should know me as I am. And then today Baba says that don't seek peace. Peace is the necklace around your neck. Now there is a story attached to this. And what is the story? The story is that there was this queen and she thought she lost her necklace. And then she looked around everywhere, in the palace, outside the palace, everywhere she looked for the necklace. And then ultimately somebody pointed out that the necklace is around your neck. So Baba says, peace is also like that. You keep looking for it outside, but it is you that is peaceful. So just stay in the awareness, I am peaceful. So some people will say, if I eat good food today, I will feel very content and I'll be very peaceful. Or they say, I just want to go on a holiday and then I'll be calm and peaceful. But we have been doing that for so long, so many plates of food and so many holidays, and then no calmness, no peace. So Baba says, peace is not outside. You have grown up with that idea, so you keep seeking it outside, but it's not like that. You have to look within for peace. Just sit in silence, go within, you find peace there. So Baba tells us the true knowledge, and Baba says that you just remember these things. Who is mine? Who am I? And then remember to keep Baba in between. Remember to keep saying Baba, Baba. Yes, sometimes people give the whole course and no Baba. Not even once they speak Baba. No, but you have to keep saying Baba, Baba, because they should also come to know whose knowledge this is. So Baba says, you also stay in his remembrance and they also come to know whose knowledge it is. So this is something. Now let's read out the Murli a little. So Baba today says, sweet children, you have now heard true things from the true Father and come into the light. So your duty is to remove everyone from darkness and bring them into the light. So the government is very interested in electrification. So Baba also says, now you are in light, so you bring everybody into light. That's your duty, and this is a light of a different kind, the light of knowledge. So, so people, what will happen if people live in physical darkness? They will fall and break their body, right? Break their hands and legs. But if you live in spiritual darkness, you will keep breaking your spiritual, spiritual powers and virtues, and you will keep getting degraded day by day. So Baba says, this light also has to shine, the knowledge of who you are and who you belong to. Question is, when you children give knowledge to anyone, what should you definitely remember? So Baba says, constantly continue to make your mouth say Baba, Baba. Because by your doing this, any consciousness of mind will finish. The inheritance will also be remembered. So whenever you remember Baba, you remember what he gives you. So this is very interesting. You remember anybody, you remember what they give you. So when you remember Baba, you remember that you're going to heaven. Yes, so this is something very interesting. So whenever you remember anybody, you remember what they stand for, and you also get a taste of what they are giving you. So when Baba is said, the notion of omnipresence is finished. If someone says that God is omnipresent, ask him, how can the Father be in everyone? Yes, if he is the Father, he cannot be in everyone. And today Baba in the Murli says something very interesting. Baba says that everybody is trying to create a better world. Yes? But Baba says, just think about one question. How can someone impure have a pure world? You see, it's such a simple thing. You apply for a job. If you're not qualified, you can't enter that office. If you're not qualified, you cannot become part of a family. Then how can you be entering a pure world with the qualification of impurity? So Baba says that this is something to remember, that if you are not pure, how can you be part of a pure world? So it all starts with you. You want to be in a pure world, start working on yourself, on your purity. And finish off all the lies that have been told to you. Yes, so there is a lot of lies. So, when we are taught about deities, the difference between deities and devils is not in what they do. It's just in how they dress up. So, deities are fair and they wear ornaments and this stuff, and then devils have these weapons and they have this dark complexion, and they are depicted like that, horns and stuff. And then you only know that this is a devil from how they look and this is a deity from how they look, because they do the same things. They get angry, they plot, they plan, they confiscate. So Baba says, what have you been taught? And all that is wrong. Deities are not like that. So Baba says, I'm telling you the truth of how you were. And sometimes, I wonder, so consciousness is such a big thing. There are so many creative houses, and there are so many movies made, and there are so many documentaries made, and then nobody ever created a picture of a world where there is no ego, no anger, no violence. So you never get a movie which shows this kind of a world. Have you ever come across such a thing? Never. So, a human being cannot conceptualize what lust, anger, ego, attachment, and greed and a world without it would look like. And this is so remarkable, because with these, people bragging about their creativity and this stuff, it is bizarre that nobody ever came out with this idea or a visual of a world where there is no anger, no lust, no attachment, ego, or greed. And Baba says this is what consciousness does to you. It limits your thinking, your creativity, everything. So when you're depleted, you can't think on those lines. And then Baba comes and kind of injects it into our head that, this is possible and this is who you were. And then you start thinking about, okay, what would egolessness look like, and what would no attachment look like? And then you fail, and then you keep making effort, and Baba keeps helping you, and then one day you get it. One day you start understanding ego, you start creating an image of what egolessness would look like, and then when you can conceptualize it, you can become it. So you see how Baba is giving us this ointment of knowledge, Gyan Anjan. And when he gives that, then we are able to see, think, everything on those lines. Earlier, we were not capable of that. So this is why it requires the one with the highest consciousness to come and uplift us from our present consciousness. Yes. So Baba says that when you read the Murli, churn over it and try to understand what Baba is telling you. Baba is not telling us anything that we already knew. It's all new stuff. So you have to think about it, really deliberate on it to get it. All right, now today's blessing is, may you have a right to the highest status, and with your elevated stage, make Maya bow down in front of you. So Baba says, great souls never bow down in front of anyone, but everyone bows down in front of them. Yes, you know a Mahatma is a Mahatma when he is not bowing down to anybody and everybody is bowing down to them. These days you know it when they are not following anybody on the Twitter or Instagram and everybody is following them, right? So this is the new expression of bowing down. Now Baba says, in the same way, none of you most elevated souls who have been selected by the Father can let yourself bow down anywhere, in any situation, or to any of the various attractive forms of Maya. So what is bowing down? Bowing down doesn't mean lowering your head. Bowing down means coming down from a state of peace, purity, happiness, love. Yes, that is bowing down. So Baba says, do not come down from your highest state, even if the situations around you are trying to put you in fear or in attraction. So Maya takes these two major forms. When it fails with fear, it starts with attraction. Yes, so you hear the news about COVID and you don't get afraid. Then what happens? You find a bed and you go to sleep. So Maya couldn't scare you, so she tempted you with the bed. But anyways, you didn't use your man and buddhi for what it was meant to be used. So Baba says, never bow down, always stay knowledgeful. Always stay peaceful, powerful, pure. No matter what happens, don't come down from that state. Even if Maya tries to scare you or tempt you. Then Baba says, when you now remain stable in a stage that makes others bow down, and when you are in this stage, then people will bow down in front of you, and the elements of nature will bow down in front of you. And what does that mean? They will cooperate with you. They will not stand against you. You will feel like the sun is your friend, the rain is your friend, and you will feel like they are doing things as you want them to do. And you will feel like everybody around you is always there when you want them to be there. And this will happen when you don't bow down to Maya's attractions or fears ever. So Baba says, then you will be able to claim a right to the highest status. In the golden age, the subjects will bow down with respect in front of such souls. So not only will now they'll be bowing down, but in the golden age also, the subjects will bow down to you, and the copper age devotees will also bow down to your memorials. If you just do this one act, which is not bowing down or giving into Maya's acts of instigating fear or temptation. Okay, so will you do that? Don't give in to Maya's fears and everything that instills fear or temptation in you is an act of Maya. It is all drama going on. Why do you have to ascribe meaning to it? This is scary or this is very nice. So that is what Maya makes you do. Can you give me the example of how to use power? You can use power if you have power. And how do you have power? So yesterday we discussed that by building your state of knowledgefulness, peace, purity, you will become powerful. Power is the last one. You don't become powerful by wanting to become powerful. So if you practice, I am an imperishable soul, you rise above the fear of death. Then you have the power to just tell Maya, which comes in the form of fear of death, that I am a soul, so I don't die, so I'll take a new body. What is the big deal? Yes, so this is the way. Slogan is, let there be a good balance between karma and yoga, and you will then be called a karma yogi. So there is this thought process, and people say that karma is yoga. So if you are doing karma, that is equivalent to yoga. But then Baba says, no, karma is not yoga. Karma done in the consciousness of yoga is yoga. So if you are in Baba's remembrance, and what does Baba's remembrance means? Remembrance colors you. So if you are in a state of peace, purity, love, happiness, that means you are in remembrance of Baba. And only then can your karma be said the karma of a karam yogi.